This is a deeper look into the characters of delinquents, a project I've been producing, and you can check out the teaser right here, baby. Check it out. So I look at delinquents as if Aang from Avatar was a school shooter. Just imagine Aang as a bigoted, racist-ass kid. Aang goes on this massive journey to unlock his avatar state, right? The state of enlightenment, a state of letting go and learning. And being able to transform, he meets these masters like milestones step by step to kind of let himself transform, right? So Jake in Delinquents, he's doing the same thing, but as where Aang is more open and willing to learn, Jake is not. He's not like that. Let's be real. This is what this is being about. Is about being real. Let's get real with this. This is a real kid, right? A kid who has real biases. Aang was asleep for 100 years in an iceberg. He has no room for biases. He was never taught any of this stuff, right? He's fresh. He's fresh right out the dank, right out that berg. And Aang is able to see all the sides of every argument, right? Jake ain't like that. Jake is so many kids that I grew up around. Jake is white, and he's stuck in a small town. He's got that small town mindset. And Jake doesn't really have a father figure, so he's raised by men on the internet. He's raised by these overly masculine and righteous and angry men on the internet. He's raised by them, and that's how a lot of kids are raised right now. Surrogate fathers, right? And so Jake decides to go set on this journey across the United States to create as much pain and destruction as possible. And just like Aang, it's this journey, right? He's going from city to city, from culture to culture, meeting master to master, mentor to mentor. He's mastering all of the elements of what makes America America. And so Jake steps out of this small town and he's learning that not everything is violent and dire and alien as he was taught that it was, right? That there's good people. There's some legit good people out there that want to help you and want to do good things for you. But also he's finding mentors that push him in the wrong direction, naturally, right? He himself is changing the people around him in horrible, horrific ways. And he's seeing all sides. We're seeing all sides. And we also go into his past and we see how this particular monster was made. It's tough. We can't lump all monsters into one category necessarily, but this is his story. But let's be real, right? He sees things that solidify his biases. He's like, oh, this group of people just fucked me over. I knew it. I fucking knew it that there's bad people. I knew that shit was bad. But just like Aang, he's leaving to learn it all, to understand. And Jake is doing that same thing, albeit against his will. That's the difference between him and Aang, is that Jake doesn't want to do this. Jake doesn't want to learn. And the other difference is that Aang masters the Avatar state, right? That's what he does. He learns to let go. He learns to... Aang is able to transform, right? Where Jake, let's be honest, a kid like this, it's not going to be that simple. We got to be real about this. He might not be able to transform. Jake is given many opportunities to change. But if we're being honest, that's going to be tough, right? That's going to be a tough one. But what about Zuko? Who is Zuko in this? So you might not remember this, but when we were teenagers, we used to feel things so much stronger. It was our first time. It was our first rodeo.
You've always thrown everything you could at me. Well, I can take it, and now I can give it back! Come on! Strike me! You've never held back before! Ah!
And so when I saw Zuko struggling with the exact same emotions that I was feeling as a teenager, confusion and anger and being over the top dramatic like a child would, my friends and I, we resonated with that so hard. And when we grow up, feeling is a little bit more dulled, right? We've kind of been through it a few times. We've been through this rodeo a few times. For some, yes. For some, no. And I look back at how dramatic Zuko is being, so over the top. But at the time, as a teenager, that shit hit home, man. It was real. It felt real, and I felt understood. They knew what I was feeling.
Normal teenagers worry about bad skin. I don't have that luxury. My father decided to teach me a permanent lesson on my face. For so long, I thought that if my dad accepted me, I'd be happy. I'm back home now. My dad talks to me. He even thinks I'm a hero. Everything should be perfect, right? I should be happy now. But I'm not. I'm angrier than ever, and I don't know why.
Simple question you need to answer then. Who are you angry at?
No one. I'm just angry.
Yeah. Who are you angry at, Zuko?
Everyone. I don't know.
Is it Dad?
No, no.
Your uncle?
Me?
No, 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 no!
Then who?
I'm angry at myself! Because I'm not sure I know the difference between right and wrong anymore.
So maybe Jake is Zuko. What if Zuko took Aang's place in the journey? That's an interesting thought.
I was almost a school shooter. Growing up, I learned early on that there was a strange comfort and calmness in darkness. I was always the new kid. My family was very violent and aggressive, drug-addicted parents. We were moving from place to place a lot, went to 30 or 40 different schools, always seemed to be going to a new school every other week. I was told I was worthless by just about everybody in my life. And when you're told you're worthless enough, you will believe it. Then you're going to do everything you can to make everybody else agree with it too. I wrapped that darkness around me like a blanket and used it as a shield. It would keep the few that would agree with me close, but it kept everybody else away. I always had heard in life that there was good people and bad people. I must be one of the bad people, so I guess I would have to just do what I was supposed to do. I got into cutting around 14 or 15 because I figured that there was all this extreme emotion going on in my life I had absolutely no control over. Had to find some way to find control over something. So I had thought I had pushed all my other friends away too. Shoved them all away by lying to them or stealing from them or doing everything that my family taught me how to react to everybody, which was the complete wrong way of how to react. But I had no idea. I was just going on what I was taught.
And I know you're wondering this. I've wondered this too. Why in the hell would you make a show following a school shooter, right? Why would you give them that attention? And I think any other show might kind of see that opportunity and be like, oh yeah, we're going to follow this serial killer or this school shooter, and like it's going to be so edgy and interesting. But that's not what's happening. It's like, in order to get to the bottom of something, I think you got to be able to kind of understand it, and kind of digest it and reflect on it. And that's not fun. It's not fun to reflect on fucking scum and like things that terrify us. It's not fun to reflect of the worst of humanity and to try to think about it. It's not fun. And it's scary. It is really terrifying to be able to look, with a microscope and to look into that and to say, like, am I capable of that type of thing? But the more and more that I think about it, it feels like it's more terrifying to not look at it. The long-term effects of, like, not looking at this thing and just closing one eye and just letting it sit over to the side, that's more terrifying to me, is not addressing that, yeah. And again, this isn't really about right or wrong or, like, trying to claim a moral stance. It's just like trauma, right? You can't just ignore it. You do have to confront it, and you do have to dig a little bit deeper and try to understand it, because that's where the healing comes from, baby. And it ain't an easy process. That's the thing. It's not an easy process, and not everybody's gonna like it. And that's just how I feel, but I haven't had my kids get shot or killed or whatever, so I don't know how that feels. I don't know. It would be nice to talk to somebody about that, though, and see what's up. I was talking to a friend about this, and I think this project is only weird if you make it about glorifying what's happening, and not letting the characters give them time to reflect on what's actually going on.
Finally, 16 years old, I'm sitting in my best friend's shed, who I thought I had already pushed away too by stealing from him and lying from him. And I'm sitting there with my arm covered in blood, knowing that if I didn't do something, I was going to kill myself soon. So I did the only thing I could think of to do. Grabbed a phone book and I called social services. So when I went to social services, sadly, they didn't just bring me in there. They also took my mom in there too, who happened to be one of the largest sources of my pain growing up. She knew exactly what to say to get me to get them to believe that I was just making it all up. It was all just an act. I was just doing it for attention. Then they sent me home with her. And as they sent me home with her, she turned to me and she said, "Next time you should do a better job and I'll buy you the razor blades." My heart just got ripped out of me that point completely. That darkness that I've been staring at for so long, I just ran headlong into it. I had nothing left to live for. I literally had nothing to lose. And when you have nothing to lose, you can do anything. And that is a terrifying thought. I decided that my act of doing something was I was going to express my extreme anger and rage by getting a gun. I was going to attack either my school or a mall food court. Really didn't matter to me which one. It wasn't about the people. It was about the largest amount of damage in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of security.
So when I first started this project, I was terrified, right? If I'm gonna do this, I need to do it perfect. If I paint this character in the wrong light or the right light, it's gonna get attacked from any side, from every side. Because as soon as you bring up one thing, somebody's going to blast out of nowhere. Everything needs to be perfect and unbreakable and unattackable. And then I realized that's the point of the whole flippin' show. is to be attacked from all different directions and to be open to hearing all these different arguments, right? All the different sides to this thing. And that's really why I'm excited about it, is because there is no right or wrong answer. If you have an opinion over this, that needs to be in the show. This should be open to scrutiny and to debate and to outrage and everything. Every single point is valid, and that's what's so exciting about it, is that everybody should be able to be heard in this. I want to talk about shock factor, glorification, trauma porn, all this shit. That's not what we're doing here. That's not what's going on. You don't understand. We don't even see the school shooting happen. We don't show drug use because it's like cool and edgy and shit like that. We're not shocking for views. That's not what we're doing. And we're definitely not glorifying bad kids, that type of shit, right? This isn't an adult cartoon, where adult cartoons are like, ooh, I'm gonna show this shit because it's like funny and edgy and make all these cool, dirty, stupid, nasty jokes and have violence willy-nilly. It's not about that. It's just being real and showing shit how it actually is, and then giving us and the characters time to sit back and reflect on this shit. Like, let's be real. Now, Dave Chappelle. You think this project is pretty dire and serious, right? That's wrong. I like to think of this as a Dave Chappelle stand-up set. He paints an honest picture of how things are on both sides of the argument, and then he makes fun of them. He pokes fun at both sides. School shooters aren't off that list. A school shooter is not off that list by any means. I probably make fun of the school shooter the most in the writing of this show. Alright, I'm about to show a few Dave Chappelle clips, and it's a touchy subject, right? I understand, especially with the trans community. So I'm not talking about any of this for outrage, an outrage click. So a friend called me up after hearing about my project, right? He's a black dude, and he said, is the school shooter black? And he gave me some pointers, right? Some stuff that I'd never even thought about. He said, you don't see black shooters, right? Being portrayed as violent monsters and stuff for so long in the media, black people don't even touch this shit, right? Just don't even get near it. Because it's been a real struggle for a long time, right? A very long time. But no, the school shooter's white. He's predominantly white. All the characters in this show are mixed to some degree. So it's more about class. So, why are we feeling sorry for this white kid who's struggling with something so many other classes and races have been struggling with for so long, right? That's exactly it. That's my point. This shooter meets other people who are different from him who say this exact same thing. You're experiencing what so many people have experienced already. Even worse than you. Get real, kid, get real. But also, you're not alone in that feeling. You're only seeing your side of the story, but you're not alone in that feeling. That's the point of the show. So Dave Chappelle's argument with the trans community is, trans people have been struggling with what black people have been struggling with for years. And I'm saying that so many people, including shooters, are doing this exact same thing. Now, does one person deserve attention more than any other? Yeah, obviously white people need all the attention first, duh. What are you, stupid? No, that's a joke, okay? That's a joke. All I'm saying is letting folks know that you're not alone in that feeling. That's the goal.
It's fucking insulting, all this talk about how these people feel inside. Since when has America given a fuck how any of us feel inside? I asked myself a very basic question that I don't think I ever directly contemplated. I said, man, Dave, if you're writing all these jokes, do you have a problem with transgender people? And the answer is absolutely not. The fuck do you guys think I am? I don't understand all the choices that people make, but I do understand that life is hard and that those types of choices do not disqualify you from a life with dignity and happiness and safety in it. It reeks of white privilege. You never asked yourself why it was easier for Bruce Jenner to change his gender than it was for Cassius Clay to change his fucking name? If you're in a group that I made fun of, then just know that I probably will only make fun of you if I see myself in you. I make fun of poor white people because I was once poor. I know what it's like to have a cold house. I wasn't allowed to touch the thermostat growing up without asking my father. And I said this, I didn't say it to him, but I said it in front of him so he could hear it. I said, I fucking hate being poor. And my dad got really upset. You are not poor. He said, poor is a mentality. He said it's a mentality that very few people ever recover from. Don't you forget it, son. You are broke. I will never forget this shit as long as I fucking live. Oh, man, you know, if you've been poor, you know what that feels like. You ashamed all the time. Feels like it's your fault. And all them kids was laughing, ha, ha, ha. Look how poor Dave Chappelle is. Like, when I think back at it, that's really the only time in my life that I ever thought to myself, I should kill everybody at school. You suffer, I suffer. You suffer, I suffer. That's how it works. Can't do comparative suffering. If you're hungry, your friend says, you know, people are starving in Africa. So what, nigga? I still want lunch. Black people know about comparative suffering, and you know this is a fucking dead-end game. Blacks and Jews do that shit to each other all the time. You ever played Who Suffer More with a Jewish person? It's a tough game. Whenever you think you got the Jewish guy on the ropes, that motherfucker be like, well, don't forget about Egypt. Egypt? God damn, nigga, I didn't know it was going all the way back to Egypt. This opioid crisis is a crisis. I see it every day. It's as bad as they say. It's ruining lives. It's destroying families. Sadly, you know what it reminds me of? Seeing it? Reminds me of us. These white folks look exactly like us during the crack epidemic. You know, it's really crazy to see. And all this shit they talk about on the news about how divided the nation is, I don't believe it. I feel like nowadays we're getting a real good look at each other. It's wild because I even have insight into how the white community must have felt watching the black community go through the scourge of crack. Because I don't care either. Hang in there, whites. Just say no. What's so hard about that?
I think it's perfectly fine to poke fun at school shooters. Like, so many people got it bad. So many people got it worse than you. And now you're gonna go and kill some folk. You're just sad. You're just sad, dude. And I think it's okay to acknowledge that you're sad and you're hurt and this kind of shit. But goddamn, son, like, I'm gonna poke fun at you a little bit. Why am I gonna poke fun at you? Because I don't see you as a monster. You want me to see you as this monster. You want me to know your wrath and you want me to see you. But like, bro, I'm not scared of you. I'm so not scared of you that I'm gonna poke fun at you. I don't want it to be like I'm laughing at you. Let's everybody laugh at the school shooter. It's like, bro, I want you to be able to laugh at you with me. I want you to be able to laugh with me. Like a friend would, right? Like a friend would say, God damn, dude, you are being super dramatic right now. We're gonna go chill and play a video game or something and we can talk about it and that's fine. But like, chill out, bro. You're okay. You're okay. And let's just chill. Chill with the monster. I like that. Chill with the monster, dude. It kind of reminds me of No Face, actually. And No Face and Shakira, or whatever her name was. She was completely unfazed by all of the badness of humanity. Like greed and consumption and violence and loneliness. And she tamed that bitch. That's what happened. She actually tamed him.
I don't want any, but thanks. I'm sorry, but I'm in a really big hurry.
You'll have to excuse the little girl. She's just a human.
Wipe that smile off your face. You're still smiling.
Try this. It's delicious.
Want some gold? I'm not giving it to anybody else.
Where is your home? Don't you have any friends or family?
No. I'm lonely.
Chairman, celebrate with friends. That's a good one.
What is it that you want?
I want Sen.
No face!
Excuse me.
Hey! Over here!
Sen, don't call him over.
I think being in the bathhouse makes him crazy. He needs to get out of there.
No face. If you put even one scratch on that girl, you're in big trouble.
Sit here. Behave yourself, okay? Maybe you need a timeout.
She wasn't really scared of him, right? Not really. She ended up taming him, and she ended up chilling with this monster. She ended up chilling with this freaking monster, and guess what? He was chilling too, baby. He was like, oh shit, I think I can chill out. You know, she's not scared of me. He calmed down. He calmed the hell down. He got out of this bad side of human nature, all of this greed and all this shit in this bathhouse, and then he went to Mother Nature, right? And he's just a reflection. That's all that No Face is. That's why he's got no face. He's just a reflection, baby.
Hurry up, I don't have all day.
Come on.
So, you all made it.
No Face, why don't you stay with me? I could use a good helper.
From the wrath of my power, they will know who I am. I had enough of telling me that I'm an idiot and a dumbass. I am nothing, I am no one. My life is nothing and meaningless.
But thankfully, I wasn't alone in that darkness. That best friend who had saved me, I was sleeping in his shed, he saw this place that I was in. Even though I had stolen from him and lied to him and taken his belongings and ruined it all, he didn't care. He still brought me in and showed me acts of kindness. Just simple acts. It wasn't the kind of overbearing kindness where they come to you and they say, is there anything I can do to you? Is there a program I can get you in? Is there something I can do to make you better? How can I help you? It was literally just sitting down next to me. Hey, would you like a meal? Let's watch a movie. Treat me like it was a Tuesday. Treat me like I was a person. And when someone treats you like you're a person, when you don't even feel like you're human, it'll change your entire world. He stopped me with his acts of kindness from committing that atrocity that day. If you see someone who's in that spot that needs that love, give it to them. Love the ones you feel deserve it the least because they need it the most. It'll help you just like as much as it helps them. We're in a really big, dangerous spot right now with this trend of arming the teachers and looking out for the kids who might be the threat in schools and maybe turning them into the FBI. What's that going to do to a kid who's in the position that I was in 25 years ago, who's alone and depressed and abused and is just sitting there hurting, and someone thinks that they're a threat? So he gets turned into the FBI, and 1 month of pain turns into a lifetime of legal trouble because one person thought he was going to be a problem. Instead of looking at that kid like he's a threat, look at him like he might be a friend. Look at him like you might be able to bring him into your fold. Show him that it's just a Tuesday. Show him that he's worth it. Show him that he can exist in this pain, even though it's intense, that at the end of it, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And even bigger than that, the friend who saved my life, he's in the audience today too. We have to give love to the people who we think deserve it the least.
All right, so I'm going to take like 7 minutes to look into the Grinch here. I want you to pay attention. So what is the Grinch? He's an extremely emotional person who's been isolated and shunned from society. For me, the opposite of attention is pure isolation, right? It will jack you up. And I do want you to notice too, the Grinch, he's silly and wacky, right? He's like a pale reflection of what a real kid feels. So try to look at all the emotions that are sitting underneath all this silliness. The Grinch is acting like a child. He wants you to fear him. He's testing you. And also, like when you're fighting addiction, right? Having somebody look at you as an addict already and saying, that's just who you are. You're just an addict. That's going to change how you see yourself. This judgment and expecting you to fuck up. You're already a fuck up, right? This expectation. You are what somebody says you are, right? And I know this because I watched my mother go through this shit, fighting addiction. So pay attention to the Grinch.
Give me that! Don't you know you're not supposed to take things that don't belong to you? What's the matter with you? You some kind of wild animal? Huh?
Thanks for saving me.
Saving you? Is that what you think I was doing? How dare you enter the Grinch's lair! The impudence! The audacity! The unmitigated gall! You've called down the thunder. Now get ready for the boom! Gaze into the face of fear. Booga booga!
Mr. Grinch, my name is Cindy Lou Who.
You see? Even now, the terror is welling up inside you.
I'm not scared.
Denial is to be expected in the face of pure evil.
I don't think so.
Run for your life before I I'm a psycho. Danger! Danger!
Maybe you need a timeout.
I mean, if you can even have it to hey, it'd be a part of Christmas. Grow up! 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 4:30, stare into the abyss.
Don't forget the Grinch. I know he's mean and hairy and smelly, but I think he's actually kind of sweet.
Sweet! You think he's sweet? Nice kid. Bad judge of character. Nurse! Help me! I'm feeling... What's happening to me?
You did the right thing, letting the Avatar's bison go free.
I don't feel right.
You should know this is not a natural sickness.
What's happening?
Your critical decision. What you did beneath that lake. It was in such conflict with your image of yourself that you are now at war within your own mind and body.
What's that mean?
You are going through a metamorphosis, my nephew. It will not be a pleasant experience. But when you come out of it, you will be the beautiful prince you were always meant to be.
Oh, Matt. I love you. Oh, that's enough. Knock it off. Beat it. Get out of here. One step at a time.
So it's not all as dire and serious as that, right? It's funny, it's fun, it's a learning experience, and it's like a journey. And we poke fun at other characters through other characters, such as the dynamic duo, baby, Bo and Max. Okay, this was like if in Avatar, if there was two Sokkas. So the school shooter takes the journey with these two kids, right? A gangster wannabe and a sweetheart Southern Baptist. And what ends up happening is they're chilling with the monster too. They're just chilling with him because they don't even know that he shot this school up. So he's able to like be like, oh shit, I don't have to be this person that people think I am. I can just like kind of be myself and I can just kind of be chill. And Bo as a character kind of works as a reality check for that. He's like reality slapping Jake in the face. So Jake is all edgy and shit and like, woe is me, right? But Bo isn't having any of that shit. Eventually Bo is like, bro, that's your backstory? Dude, I've gone through so much more shit that you don't even know. Like, I've had it so much worse than you, and I'm not out here shooting people and stuff. You're fucking crazy. Bro, you need to get real. That's what he's thinking. But Bo also does want to be this moralist badass, you know, so he does kind of look up to Jake in that way.
Hey, shut the fuck up, bitch. Let me think. Hey, I ain't no bitch. I'll fucking kill you right now.
Bo is like every other young dude right now growing up, right? Is where, oh, I want to be this badass. I want to get my respect. I got to get my respect and be this badass. But also there's the true side of me that's like, I just want to be loved and like I'm actually a sweetheart. So he's kind of stuck between these two worlds and that's tough.
No, Zoe, I'm talking about fucking the homie Tony's house, man. This shit's like fucking heaven on earth. It's a big-ass mansion. They're passing out weed in every single room. Man, I swear to God, it's heaven on earth. Bro, this guy is fucking crazy. He threw his damn dog off the damn balcony. He's like somebody I want to be like. Nah, he's like someone I can look up to, you know? You back the fuck up, dog. You have no clue how many fucking people I killed. I'm gonna fucking shoot you. I killed a kid before. I'll do it again. I killed fucking 20 of them. Fuck it. I'm fucking Zoe. Fuck it. I'm a murderer.
Bo is voiced by Dylan Mariotti, a great friend of mine. He's hilarious, a funny dude, really cool dude.
Nailed it.
His voice though? Just a little bit. Like a little kid falling on his ass and fuck. Exactly like that. I love him so much. He added so much to the Bo's character. I want to work with more voice actors the way I did with him, right? Where We set up the mic and we're just riffing off that thing, and we're suiting the character to the actor as much as possible. Like, I write the script, I create a line, and I say, okay, read this line. And he reads the line, and it's like, you know, that didn't work. Now I want you to say it just how you would say it. How would you say it? You can completely change this up. How would you portray this moment? You know, how do you feel in this moment? And how would you say it? I feel like animation is missing that so much, right? Because of the production schedule and stuff like that. And it does take a lot more work, but I think it's worth it to let the actor do their thing and be in the moment and react how they would actually react, especially if you can get two actors in a booth together. I think that would be so fun. I almost see this as like an Always Sunny thing.
You can handle a chair. Go get a chair.
See what you're doing to him? You're getting him all worked up.
He thinks he's the toughest guy we know.
Yes,
the guy can handle a chair.
Hey, man! Get a chair! Smash it on my back!
Oh, that's the right attitude. He's got the right attitude.
Dude, it's amazing! Look at this! Bro, you could chop a camel right in the hump and drink all of its milk right off the tip of this thing.
You know, where they're just riffing off each other and being silly and fun. So little Max is trying to pull all these good kids in a moral direction. He wants a family, he wants older brothers, you know, a situation. If anybody is Aang, it might be Max, right? Because he's got no judgments, no preconceptions. He just call it how it is. That's just how we do. But he was raised in a Southern Baptist extremist cult. Okay, so he's got some biases here and there that he's beginning to question. But yeah, I like his backstory. And then we have Pat and TT, right? So if I look at this on a scale of best to worst characters, way over here you've got Max being a really good kid, pure heart, and then all the way over here on the other end of the spectrum is TT. TT is the worst of humanity, balled into one little child.
What the fuck are you?
So Pat is ex-military, right? And she's stuck in this contract with this company, and she doesn't want to be in the contract anymore. But on one of her missions, she finds this little girl locked up in a cage that's been captured by this human trafficking ring. And this kid was basically raised like a dog in isolation and walks on all fours, and it's really, really sad and messed up. There's actually been some actual studies of this, like actual kids who've been through this shit, and it's really messed up and sad. It's a sad study.
Fuck you, little fucking shit! Holy shit!
So this kid's on pure survival mode, right? She's a raw human. She doesn't know right from wrong. She has no moral compass. So Pat is in a contract. She wants out. She's going to raise this kid to infiltrate and kill the head of this corporation. And the point is she's trying to raise this kid to appear normal, to act like a normal kid, right? To fake a moral compass or whatever. And in the process, you know, she ends up loving this kid and really caring for this kid and getting attached. And because Pat has just lost one of her own kids from the school shooter, she's like, no, I don't want anything to do with this kid. You know, this kid's like a tool to me, you know, basically. And the kind of the mindset there is like, all these other kids in the world don't really matter. You know, it's just my kid is the one that matters the most. And then Pat falls in love with this kid and becomes a surrogate mom. And it's a really beautiful story. And it's also very sad and challenging at times, you know, but that's the reality of it.
Listen here, you little shit. You don't eat, you don't sleep, and you sure as hell don't fucking kill anybody unless I say so. Hey, look at me. That's the deal. Got it? Now, I need you to say, I'm the dog. You're the dog, remember? Say it. Say it!
So to be clear, TT's the little girl that travels with Pat. It's not Pat's actual kid. This is a kid that she saved that's kind of replacing her child in a way. And she doesn't want it. She doesn't want this new kid. She wants her kid. Yeah, and it's sad. It is sad.
And if you survive that too, then I'm gonna put you in a bag and throw you in the goddamn river. How do you like that, you fucking freak?
Oh, God. So these are the kind of stories that I really want to make. Something that is real and is serious and people struggle with, and then being able to step back and kind of poke fun at it sometimes, you know? Nothing overly serious, you know, there's a time and place for all this. You know, to poke fun at it and reflect on it, and then let the characters kind of think it over. Give them a second to reflect, right? Let us slow down with the characters and learn with them. I want to make situations that reflect real life, right? But they're still entertaining, and sometimes they're a little bit blown out of proportion and ridiculous sometimes. Like her gun, right? Pat's gun. It's ridiculous. It's like, it's supposed to be ridiculous. What I would say is don't look at this as Schindler's List on the level of seriousness. This is more like Shameless. If you watch Shameless, this is the exact tone that I'm going for, where there's a lot of bad shit and sad shit and real shit that happens in Shameless.
What's on his face? Oh my god. Oh my god. Step back. Oh my god.
But the characters sometimes, you know, they don't have time to sit there and be sad about it. You know, shit happens. Life happens. We gotta keep on trucking, baby. And Shameless is great for that. I really love Shameless.
You miss another episode of Shameless, I'm coming over to your fucking house and killing your entire fucking family.
I didn't split like your mom did. I could have. Let the state figure out what to do with all 6 of you, but I didn't. And bars, what you ask anybody. A beer once in a while, and that's it.
So another project I'm developing is a friend steals his best friend's music and becomes an extremely famous musician. And in order to adapt into this new industry, right, he has to be more and more fake. He's got to be more and more violent and, you know, crowd pleasing for the views type of thing. And become somebody that he's not. He knows he's not this person. He has to hide the music that he actually wants to make, the person who he actually is, in order to keep this facade and in order to please the crowd of what he thinks the crowd wants from him, right? A false image. And this is something that musicians are going through all the time. This is something that it's real, right? This is real. All right, more and more musicians are coming out and talking about this, more so than ever. It's pretty interesting. So I would like to talk to, you know, some of those artists, and along with those artists and real people to get insights onto these projects, you know, like real people, right? People who are actually going through this stuff, and also talking with therapists like Healthy Gamer to kind of get an insight of what's actually going on. These are the kind of projects that I would really love to create, and these type of people that I would love to work with. Keep your eyes peeled for more, baby.